I dropped my microphone very time. I'm going to stick a tweet out.
Hello, welcome to 49 Unbeaten Live. Following Arsenal's, it's not even a shock exit, is it? I think we all saw this coming. But we have exited Europe. We are out. We drew 0-0 in the night. We lost 2 on an aggregate to Villarreal. And our season is over. The next 4 league games, or 3, whatever they are completely and utterly redundant. Although not mathematically impossible not to qualify. Unlikely we'll do anything in the league. Dan, how are you feeling, first of all, and are you as pessimistic as I am for the rest of this season?
Sorry, I'm just tweeting out. No, I have to unfortunately agree with you, mate. It is literally, our season is over, unless by some miracle we can get into the bottom. What is the bottom Europa places again?
I think 1 to 3 get automatic Champions League, 4th gets Champions League playoff spot, 5 and 6 get Europa League, and I think 7th now gets the Conference League, I think.
Okay, so, I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, it's done. I'm gutted. We're out. I'm lost for words, really. I don't really know what to.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't
how to express my feelings. I feel in a state of shock, just because. It's just unprecedented in a way, isn't it? Like, Josh, I don't know if you want to change it, by the way, because I think the view's only me. I can't see you in this live.
Sorry, I will change it to gallery view. Here we are.
Yeah.
I don't speak of you from.
There we go. That's better. Yeah. So it's I'm just gutted. Don't really know how to express how I'm feeling about this. It is heartbreaking. We're out of the Europa League. We're not going to be in Europe next season unless by some miracle we get through. But
so
all we can do is we can just play the teams in front of us next season, and then over the summer we need to keep hold of players, because some players will just want to leave naturally because we're not in European football. I can't even believe I'm saying this, to be honest, because we're out of Europe, and I genuinely, this could be a lot more serious than some of us are thinking. I think when you look at Chelsea, when they won the Premier League, and because they went completely out of Europe, I can't see something like that happening for us. I think it's going to be much more serious, and we could genuinely lose a lot of players.
So I've just got an ESPN article up. So to qualify for the UEFA Conference League through the Premier League, you win the Carabao Cup.
Okay.
Man City won the Carabao Cup, but will be playing in Europe in the Champions League next season.
Yep.
So it falls to the league. The FA Cup final is between Chelsea and Leicester. If the winners also finish in the top 6, then 7th place enters the Conference League. Chelsea and Leicester, you would expect both will finish top 6.
Yeah.
So whoever is in 7th, which as it stands is Liverpool, will qualify for the UEFA Conference League, which means as it stands, Everton and Arsenal will miss out on European football next season.
Is what it is, really. There's nothing we can do or say about it. If we just, the biggest concern for us now is, can we keep over the past 3-4 years, we've watched our side progress, I'd say, in the transfer market. We've lost some players, we've gained other players. We now need to make sure we keep our squad and we improve our squad, and we don't weaken our squad from what it can be. It is a nightmare situation. And for me, the best possible scenario now is a Daniel Ek coming in and kind of pouring his finances into the club to try and convince players to stay, to convince them of the vision, to convince them that we're going to be signing. big players in this market, but there again, are we going to be able to attract those big players?
I don't know how you can. I mean, even that we've joked about it on the podcast, which we'll bring out tomorrow. We'll do an episode. We joked on the podcast and genuinely joked, "Oh, what if we end up in the Conference League?" That is now not even a realistic possibility. Like, we will not be in Europe. You look at the season after that, like everyone is having. I mean, we have to win every game and pray for a miracle, really. But I just can't see it. I can't see it happening. Right. I mean, unless Liverpool move up a space and Tottenham fail under Mason, but then we still have to fight Everton for it.
It's just depressing, man, to see how far we've fallen. We've gone from, like I said on the Instagram Live, we've gone from beating Real Madrid at the Bernabeu to beating Milan at the San Siro to more recently winning again at Milan at the San Siro.
Valencia, the Mestalla, 2 years ago today, I think that was.
Yeah, Valencia, and winning convincingly in Valencia, having performances which have been impressive in Europe, making statements across Europe, to now making statements across Europe for all the wrong reasons. And it is just so heartbreaking and depressing to see how far we have fallen. Like, as Arsenal fans, it gets you. It properly does get you, because we went into this game. Yes, once you get into that match day build up of the game, you're like, you know what, we can get through this. We can push this for Arsenal. We can beat this side. We've got more than a chance of beating this side. And then on the pitch, the players just look like they're running in water. They look like they're running in slow motion. They don't. We were unlucky tonight as well, didn't Aubameyang hit the post? And
I mean, hit the post twice.
There were chances. It's just so.
You don't want to bring VAR into it. There was, by the looks of it, a pull on Pepe in the box from, I think it was a corner. You don't want to attribute, what if it was only inches, or it was this and that, or this VAR call. And we're not doing that. No excuse for those. It's not like we played them off the park, hit the post and the bar, and were denied an obvious penalty. We were dreadful. And the fans who went to the demonstration to welcome the team into the game must feel like absolute mugs, because the players didn't perform for them. The manager didn't perform for them. The Cronky Out protests, I can only imagine, will continue, become more frivolous. Home and away now. We're out of Europe. We have no big games to play. I mean, you look at our run. I think Chelsea's the biggest game. Dead rubber, really. They've got Champions League to rest for. They're in fourth. I mean, you win the Champions League, you get Champions League anyway. They have nothing to play for this season domestically.
Yeah.
We'll go and lose that 3-0 probably. We've got West Brom at the weekend. Who cares? They're down. We're finishing mid-table. Meaningless. I think this is the most downbeat I've been after a game.
This feels. I don't know. This feels for me on par with the Olympiacos one. It's just the Olympiacos one, I think, was more heartbreaking just because the manner of it and the way that Aubameyang scored the overhead kick, and we were like, oh, we've done it, to then the last minute goal. And I think you saw Charles Watts puts a tweet out saying about David Luiz was just furious in the stands in this game, shouting, swearing at the players, like, to walk back in faster, it's just so frustrating. These players should be up for the games like this. And I'm telling you now, I think fans have such an impact on the game. We've seen it throughout this season. We have seen it with the lack of motivation, the lack of energy, the lack of drive, the lack of commitment from these players. When Arsenal fans, it might be hard for some fans who haven't actually experienced this, but if you've been to the Emirates, yes, we get complained about for our atmosphere, but when we're lolling around with a ball at the back and they do it for too long, everyone gets on the backs of those players. Everyone wants to shove a rocket up their backside and get them to go up the other end and to move the ball forwards. And fans don't let things happen. And when you take the fans out of the equation, there's no pressure on the players. There's no pressure to do these things. And I think football next season will be so different. I'm not saying we'll suddenly turn into a top four side, because I think there's a huge summer ahead of us now before we can say anything about our club. But I think there's certain things that won't be allowed to happen.
Yeah, I've been angry after games before. Like I was angry after Olympiacos. I went on a very long Twitter rant about that. I think I was angry after the 5-5 draw with Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. Well, Liverpool's kids, to be perfectly honest. Angry after Baku. This is just like complete and utter deflation, because I think we know the significance of it.
Yeah, and we know we're not going to be in Europe next season.
You know what it means. Whereas you look at Baku, well, fine, we finished it. We're getting Europa League next season anyway. We're out, but we now focus on. We're out in March, so we can have now 2 months to like, or February, whatever it was, isn't it?
This is different. A sad day for Arsenal Football Club.
I mean, it's 25 years of tradition over. It's the first time we will. I mean, in our lifetime, we will ever see Arsenal not playing midweek European football, which is. I remember going to Champions League games as a kid was genuinely like one of the highlights of it and of being a football fan, and even going and shouting at Fenerbahce fans or whatever it was. I think we were losing them. We had to go at Bentner, who was playing up front on his own, and it was. Looking back now, that was the joys of being a football fan.
How did we achieve Champions League football with such mediocre players like, Carlos?
You have to look at the manager, don't you? What Wenger achieved.
We've got players we brought in from Europe, which were renowned for being some of the hottest talents and property in Europe. Pierre Aubameyang, one of the most lethal strikers in Europe before he joined Arsenal, and when he joined Arsenal as well, he continued that. You've got Alex Lacazette, a striker who's renowned across Europe for being extremely highly rated. You've got Pepe. So many of Europe's clubs wanted to sign him before we signed him. You've got so many players. Thomas Partey, one of the best midfielders in Europe. And it is just so downbeat and horrible to see.
We're going to have a big summer. We're going to lose a lot of players.
We can't even take the mick out of Tottenham because they're in a position where they can still qualify for Europe next season.
Yeah.
It's just sad. I think we're going to have to call it there, mate. But I think
you look at yesterday, and you look at Chelsea and what they did. And I'm not saying we should have followed that model because it's not. We've never routinely sacked managers.
Yeah,
we've sort of sacked 2 managers in 3 years. But for Arsenal, that's very different when you look at how long Wenger was there, and then you had Bruce Rioch. But then you sort of look back and you sort of before that you had long-standing managers. Chelsea sacked their manager 3 months ago, brought in a title-winning manager with experience, with European experience, who was in the Champions League final last season. And has taken them to another Champions League final with a bang average performing squad, a squad of high talent who were useless. They were like, I know we're bad, but they were performing badly for Havertz, Werner. Mendy was okay. Chilwell,
Yeah, no, I get your point. Yeah,
I'm not saying we should have sacked Arteta in that run of form.
I think it's a very similar situation.
I'm not comparing it. But Abramovich was lethal, and they've got results from it. And I think that's what something we need to learn is it's all well and good bringing in a former pro. I don't know if we can go as far to call Arteta an Arsenal legend.
No, he's more of an Everton legend than an Arsenal legend.
Yeah, he was a former captain. He was a former player, not on the level of Lampard and what he meant to Chelsea fans. But you've got to go the job became too much for Lampard. The occasion became too much. And I think that's what's happened to Arteta.
I don't think it's just a maybe right man, wrong time kind of thing.
It's come too soon, I think.
I think he's got the potential to be a very, very good manager. His ceiling of how far he can go as a manager is much higher than his ceiling as a player. And I think, I'm gonna wrap it there, mate. I think I'm gutted, mate. I'm gutted.
I think we all are, and I think we need time to reflect on it. We need to analyse it properly. We need to see where we went wrong. And we will be back tomorrow. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about Arteta out, maybe. I think I'm definitely edging towards that boat. I know a few Arsenal fans on Twitter that we speak to are I'm sure there are some Arsenal Arteta in. I think you and Ben are both Arteta in at the moment. Still,
I'm keeping
different.
It's simply not good enough. But
Ben's still
I
Arteta
just
in.
want to give it a couple of days, try to take it in, try to see how everything reacts afterwards, and then I don't know. I just think I don't think I. But then you've got the question of like who's out there, and if it means sacking Arteta to get Maurizio Sarri, I don't want it.
I mean, it's who takes the job ultimately. We'll discuss everything tomorrow. We'll talk about the West Brom preview. If he takes it, I mean, I'd love to see him test it outside of a European club. I'd love Max Allegri.
Yeah, Allegri is the one man that would make me go, right, we're back in business.
Allegri, I'd also consider. I don't know if he take the job. Joachim Low is leaving Germany after the Euros.
I don't know. International managers.
I rate him. I know Germany had a poor World Cup, but I really like Joachim Low. I think I would have loved him after Wenger. I think it might come 2 or 3 years too late. But him or Allegri are the only two that I'd have, because you can't bring in Henry or Vieira or someone like that with no experience at that level. Well, thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed it. We definitely haven't. We will be back tomorrow for, as we said, Villarreal review, Arteta discussion, West Brom preview, what this means for us as fans, for Arsenal. Do we carry on the protests? Does Stan Kroenke even care? Does he know the result? Does he know who he played?
He's probably just woken up.
Probably not. That is it for 49 Unbeaten Live.